Hey, Hank here from Big Dog Reviews. I wanted to talk a bit about zones on the HA1UV and HA1G Ailunce radios. A lot of people have been curious why these radios have zones and scan lists, and it seems that they're, I don't want to say a holdover, but something that's more appropriate in the DMR world, where you have zones and groups and channel lists and all kinds of crap like that. But as far as analog radio, there's really no point to zones when you have scan lists, which can be set up basically as zones or groups. On the Ailunce HA1UV, zones and scan lists serve different purposes, but they can be used independently depending on your needs. Zones are essentially organizational folders for your channels, and on the both of these radios by Ailunce, a zone can have 16 channels assigned to it. If you have multiple repeaters, frequencies, or groups of channels for different locations or purposes, you can organize them into zones. I want to stress, however, you do not need to use zones to keep all of your channels, if you keep all of your channels in a single list. But they help keep things structured. That being said, scan lists determine which channels are scanned when you use the radio's auto scanning function. And you can create a scan list, assign channels to it. And again, on the Ailunce radios, each scan list can have 16 channels assigned to it. You can create a scan list, assign channels to it, but you don't need to use scan lists if you don't plan on scanning through the channels automatically. You can always just, turn the dial on your radio and cycle through the channels manually. But what fun is that? I like to scan and just see what's out there, who's talking where, and find someone to talk to that way. That's just the way I see things. If you think scan lists or zones are necessary, let me know why. Maybe you have an organization broken down into multiple units and you want to have each unit assigned to a zone. I would say you could do the same with channel lists, but this is just a quickie to point out to you that you don't need to use zones. In fact, if you don't create any zones on the Ailunce radios and just choose, I believe it's all. Let me just verify that. All right, we'll go in, go to zone. Yeah, zone 1, or if you don't have a zone created, the first zone is all channels. And that'll allow you to manually go through all channels or create scan lists in groups of 16 and scan through them. The zone serves no purpose for basic usage. And I think Ailunce must make DMR radios as well, and this is just a carryover from that. So on my radios, I've gotten rid of the zones. I just set it to all channels for zone, and I create scan lists broken down by geographic location. And that's really all I've got here. That's all I've got to say about that. So this is Hank from Big Dog Reviews 73s.